Today, we're talking about burnout with ADHD. And this doesn't usually happen slowly, it comes from living in extremes. One day you're hyper focused, working nonstop, and the next you're scrolling through Netflix and can't get off the couch. That cycle is exhausting and it's not your fault. Today, we're going to talk about what ADHD burnout really is, why it happens, and what the science says about it, what you can do to recover, and the best part, keeping it from happening in the first place. For me, burnout was a constant cycle. I would overwork and overdo until I couldn't anymore. Then I'd stay in bed, stuck on my phone, playing brain dead games or watching TV for days, just doing the bare minimum each day to get by. And when I finally came out of it, I would scramble to fix everything that had fallen apart while I was checked out. And I'm not alone in this. Research shows that 70 to 80% of ADHD adults report frequent burnout symptoms in work or daily life. The exhaustion of ADHD burnout is not just being tired, it's feeling anxious, overwhelmed, and confused about what even matters anymore. So why does it happen? Science gives us a few big clues. First, executive function depletion. ADHD brains are constantly working harder to plan, prioritize, and regulate emotions. It's like we're running on a smaller battery than other people, and ours drains faster. Second, masking. Many of us try to hold it together to appear neurotypical. That performance eats up enormous amounts of energy. And when the mask comes off, we're wiped out. Third, dopamine. The dopamine roller coaster. Hyperfocus can feel amazing, but it's like sprinting. When the dopamine drops, so does your energy, and then you crash hard. And finally, overcommitting. Our enthusiasm is big, but our time awareness is tricky. We say yes too much and we end up paying for it. Burnout isn't just mental, it's physical too. Allostatic load theory from Bruce McEwen and Elliot Steller say that chronic stress puts wear and tear on the body. For ADHD adults, that stress is constant, from deadlines, emotional regulation, and disorganization. This means a higher allostatic load, which drains energy, weakens immunity, and leaves you feeling worn out. There's sleep research from Dr. Matthew Walker that says sleep is where the brain restores focus and energy. But ADHD brains often struggle staying up late, restless sleep, or waking unrefreshed. And when sleep is disrupted, burnout symptoms like irritability, poor focus, and bad decisions are magnified. I used to think burnout was just mental, but once I realized how much my body was involved, it completely shifted how I approach recovery. So what do you do if you're already in burnout? The first step isn't pushing harder, it's taking the pressure off. Here's what helped me. Not overdoing it when I came out of the cycle. Instead of trying to fix everything all at once, I set clear beginnings and endings to my workday, not overloading my calendar. I make sure I always have at least 1 or 2 hours of white space every day, time where I can rest or do whatever I want. Building in true rest. Sleep, yes, but also quiet time, movement, and connection with people that don't drain me. One of my clients used to hit burnout every 2 months. Once she started building in white space and treating recovery as part of productivity, she doubled her consistency and stopped crashing so hard. And that's really the key. Rest isn't the opposite of productivity. It's the fuel for it. Without recovery, the cycle just keeps repeating. Let's talk about some more prevention and recovery strategies. Prevention is about building a life that restores you before you hit the wall. For me, that meant creating what I call my perfect week. And honestly, it was more about doing less than getting more done. I had to decide what the most important things were in my business and cut out the rest. I started scheduling me first, my workouts, my work blocks, my walks, my rest. Everything else had to fit around those anchors. That shift completely changed how I showed up and kept me from overcommitting. And the experts back this up. Ari Tuckman teaches that consistent routines and proactive planning prevent the chaos that triggers burnout. Dr. Edward Hallowell reminds us that ADHD adults thrive with structures of support. Coaching, accountability, external reminders. They're not weakness, they're guardrails. Organizational psychology research shows recovery is most effective when we fully disengage from work, not checking the email, half working, but real psychological detachment, so your brain can actually recharge. One small boundary that helped me was putting my phone in another room after 7 p.m. That simple choice gave me real recovery time and kept burnout from sneaking back in. Here's what I want you to remember. Burnout is real. And you can learn to recognize the signs before you end up in it. That awareness is a skill. And the more you practice it, the stronger it gets. You're not lazy. You're not broken. You're exhausted. And the exhaustion requires care, not shame. So ask yourself this week, where am I pushing past my limits? And what's one small way I can build recovery in before I hit burnout? Start there. Small shifts add up. And if you want help spotting burnout earlier, grab my free burnout warning signs checklist. It's at www.learntothrivewithadhd.com/burnout. Because the goal isn't to just survive ADHD burnout, it's to build a life where you can actually thrive. And one last thing before we close, I would love to hear from you. Not only can you comment on YouTube, but now I have a SpeakPipe page set up. There is a link in the show notes. Send me your questions or your biggest challenges with ADHD, and I'll talk about them in future episodes. It's www.speakpipe.com/learn to thrive with ADHD. Or you can get the link in the description or the show notes. I can't wait to hear from you. I'll pick a few to feature in future episodes so we can keep this conversation going together. Thank you for being with me today. I will see you guys next week. Thank you for your time today and especially your attention. If you're anything like me, you love to learn. Sometimes, though, we can know what to do but struggle to put it into action without the right support. That's what private ADHD coaching is for, to give you the unique support and accountability you need to make the change you know is possible. Book a free consultation with me today at www.learntothrivewithadhd.com/services. I look forward to meeting you.